Is he purring?
Check your body.
I made a mistake. I regret the things that I've done. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Gamersledge podcast, where you can't see me because I was trying to be nice and show you guys the opening, and I of course switched off of XSplit, so now my broadcasting software has sucked the ability for other programs to actually use that video source. So, stand by one. Joining me is Matt. Hi, Matt.
Howdy. Hello.
And then of course, last but not least, from his quaint New England home, it's Dave.
Cheers.
Oh, hey, look at that. A wild me appears. I just won't be on the big screen. It'll just be my name when I talk. That's weird, but okay, whatever. It'll work.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's unfortunately...
Well, we'll have no doubt on who he is.
That's right. It says my name. Really bold.
Name.
No, look, the only reason I do this is the pained look on your face when I say things.
Well, I literally can't do anything about that. You know what? I can do something about that.
No, you can.
It's just going to be weird.
Start over.
Well.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that didn't work. Hold on. Why didn't that work? There we go. See, you can see me up in the top right, but then it does this. Right? That's not productive.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was totally productive. What are you talking about?
All right.
He's really wishing it had been the other kind of brownies right now.
Seriously. That almost worked just on whiskey. That's amazing.
Yeah. I guess I could start over. Do you want me to start over?
No, it's fine.
All right. So, I got to stop that. That's going to drive me insane. Seriously.
Yeah.
I'm like, is there anything I can do? I don't think there is. Nope.
It's just like jiggle the handle or something?
No, that's not what it is. It's whenever XSplit is open, it becomes the dominant program that like sucks all audio and video inputs into it. And so if you try and open like any program to use a video input as an example, like a camera or whatever, you can only open it in XSplit at that point. You have to actually physically quit out of XSplit, which would kill the stream in order to... Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll make one big one of me. I'll just add another XSplit and make it big, and I'll turn it on and off whenever I talk. So that it's not weird and my name is over there all the time, because that's really weird. There we go. We'll just make a big me. Live production on the fly. That's what everybody's comes here for. Not video game news or anything else of the sort. Let's start as we do by going around talking about what we've been doing, watching, playing over the last couple weeks, and we'll start with Matt.
Start with who? You cut out there.
Yeah,
Matt.
that's perfect, Connie.
Me.
Matt.
Okay. We will start with. Right now, I'm playing Watch Marvel play behind you on the floor. So I had some things I didn't do a good job of tracking what we've been done. We've been gone for a bit, but I played and finished E's Memory of Celceta.
Because we're super professional, I have to interrupt you and say how it looks. The barn looks like you're giving your head an eam-over with your headset. It's cutting off the left headset, so now it looks like you're super goth. There you go. Now it's back. But when I don't know, you can move just a little bit to the other direction and it does it. I don't know why. It's so weird.
Okay, well, we'll lean this way. All right, so so I've finished E's Memories of Celceta. It's a fun game. It's going to require 2 or 3 playthroughs to platinum, so I'm probably not going to chase that down. But it's a fun game. It's an action RPG series. It's been around for forever. You can definitely tell that it was a mobile port, or not a mobile, a handheld port. There's some things about it you can definitely tell that. But as far as handheld ports go, it's actually really, really well done. The load times are really good, and it's a pretty small game. You could beat it in about 30 hours. For an action RPG. It all depends on how much you want to grind out and how many of the different arts attacks you want to get and stuff. But yeah, it's easily finishable without any serious grinding. I finished Act 2. I bought it's actually really solid. It's the first one, mechanics wise. It plays better, I think, than the first one. It still does suffer from some of that 3D platforming problem that 3D mascot platformers have, where you have certain sections where the depth perception is just not right, and so you fall off of platforms a lot. Well, not a lot, but in those segments it can be challenging. And then I did a thing. It was on sale, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try this because I have a feeling this is coming to us sooner than later in a significant way, which I was kind of right. I subscribed to PlayStation Now.
Whoa.
And so I did that, and I've been playing around with it, and it works pretty well. I totally forgot that PS3 era shooters had the aim and shoot buttons on the shoulder bumpers rather than on the triggers. So that is a real hard adjustment once you're used to triggers. That going back to the front R1 L1 on the DualShock there, that's a hard transition back. But it's not as comprehensive as a library as I was kind of thinking it is, and there's a lot of garbage in there, and especially in the PS3 realm. Essentially, all the PS2 games are the PS4 ports, so that's really all they've got in there for PS2 games is the PS4 ports. There's no PS1, at least as of the moment. But there's quite a few PS3 titles and quite a few PS4 titles, and so Mitchell and I started playing Tekken 7 off of that. And that was a doubt. We tried it streaming first, and it worked great. And then we just went ahead and downloaded it so that it was there. Played, and I downloaded Hollow Knight and started playing that. I'm actually going Nier Automata is actually going to be my next big game to start, but I just haven't had time to start that yet. But yeah, PlayStation Now, I'm fairly impressed with it. Of course, Control rotated out like the day after I subscribed, so I'm still going to have to buy that at some point because you've got the rotating PlayStation 4 content that goes in and out of there. On the TV front, we finally started the last season of Agents of Shield, which is really good. It's got a very interesting gimmick to it, so that's been fun. Uh, Finished off season
What are
three of
you what are you watching that on?
DVR actually,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the
which is
problem.
really
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, because I went to go back and start watching it, and when I went in to watch it on Hulu, because we cut the cord, I didn't think of setting it up to record because I thought it's all just digital over the internet. They have everything. They apparently don't keep the first two episodes of things.
No, it's
oh,
not that they don't keep the first two episodes. It's that they're time locked, and after a certain time, they rotate out. And
Yeah, I
so,
don't care. They didn't have the first two episodes.
right, I'm
This is
like,
why I need to see your face. This is not as fun.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm shaking my head yes because I actually got behind, and then I haven't been able to see any of the last season, let alone this season.
Yeah, so I have to wait for it to hit like Netflix or something like that.
Yep.
oh wow.
So yeah, it's
But you'll have a better you'll have a better experience though because I have become so spoiled by HDR. The colors in that show are so often not good. So if it doesn't have Dolby Vision or HDR in it now, I'm just like, no, do I really want to watch this? I don't know.
wow.
Um,
Spoiled.
Where's your
I
friggin'
know.
Where's your monocle?
Um, but yeah, but yeah, so got I think we've got like 2 or 3 episodes left of that. And then it's done. And then I'll be sad. But then, at least it got to get done. Um so I finally finished off the last 2 episodes of season 3 of Attack on Titan. I don't know why, for whatever reason, I stopped with 2 episodes left. But I
Nice.
finally finished the last 2 episodes of that. The back half of season 3 is called Holy Lore Dump Batman. It's basically all just narration and lore and telling you exactly how you ended up where these all people ended up instead of giving us bits and pieces throughout the time. Just like, nope, here's 12 episodes of nothing but lore. Good luck. Um, but it's good because now we know. I picked up, restarted The Promised Neverland, which is another anime, which has like the coolest theme song ever, which is the main reason I started watching it the first time. Um, it's an interesting one. We'll have to see. It's only like 10 episodes, so I'll rough it out. I'll finish it out, but it's interesting. I finished off seasons 1 and 2 of Cobra Kai, which has no right being good, much less as good as it is. I don't know how they pulled it off. I really honestly don't. But yeah, it's seriously good, and I think you could be just fine watching it without ever having seen the movies. They give you enough of the movies and what happened, and they even actually have movie flashbacks where they actually splice in movie scenes into the show, where it makes sense. So, it's definitely aimed at the people who were younger teenagers when they were watching it and then now are adults because it basically follows, Johnny and Daniel in as now they're older, right? But there's also another generation of kids, so there's that element of it for the younger audience and stuff. So but yeah, I don't know how they got it. And considering I always forget his name, but the guy that plays Johnny is the same guy that played him as the kid and is not a significant actor. He's not done a lot of stuff, but he nails what is possibly one of the most difficult, nuanced roles I've watched in TV in a long time.
It's really good.
It's like
Um,
I don't know how he does it.
we're like I guess like midway through the first season or something like that, and like we watched like the first two episodes before on when it was on YouTube,
Mhm.
and we never subscribed to the premium to finish it off, and then they did this. We're just like, oh, cool, and it's just like it's one of those weird shows where you don't want to like not root for anybody. Like it's not like how like there's like the Always Sunny in Philadelphia style show where everybody is just a giant piece of crap. This is a show where you want to root for everybody,
Mhm.
and you
They're
don't
they're
want. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody is a sympathetic character in one way or another, which is
yeah,
crazy.
it's super well done, and it's very different to like a lot of things. Because like I know that the big trend for a lot of shows is like everybody's just like garbage. That's like the one style of TV, and
Thank you,
then there's
BSG.
what the
I said thank you, BSG.
BSG. Why
The new Battlestar Galactica. That was like the show that kind of kicked off the trend of everybody's garbage.
was that?
I
It
don't think
was the
so.
one of
No, I thought it was more like the comedy show. I mean, you could say that with Seinfeld was like that.
but there's
I
a
mean, that
difference
was
between
probably
a
the
serious show and a comedy show, right? I mean, there's a difference. I mean, the grim dark kind of started with BSG.
Really, I
BSG
don't.
got to the point where everybody was so flawed it was just
yeah, but there
kind
was
of
like shows
ridiculous.
like before, like I mean, HBO's Oz,
Yeah,
Okay,
The
fair.
Wire.
Yeah, or
yeah.
yeah, or the
I mean, The
Shield.
Wire.
The Shield. No,
The
I think the
first the
Shield.
first non-cable network, first non-pay cable show. Maybe let's say that. Maybe it's more the first more. Yeah, because I never had any of those channels, so I never saw those things when they aired
Well,
originally.
Yeah,
the Shield was on free TV.
yeah. Well, no. The Shield was on like FX or something, wasn't it?
No, I'm pretty sure it was Fox actually.
I
No,
thought it was AMC.
maybe not. You know what?
Maybe
Stand
CBS.
by one. Stand by one.
Anyway,
How about we just like name all the acronyms until we just agree upon one? Sorry. Not the hard one, but your show was special.
yes, no, it is positive by and large, and the way that he bumbles to the right destination the totally wrong way is just amazing writing, and the fact that he can pull it off is just. And I've never seen so much Coors Banquet in my life.
Yeah,
Dave is
I didn't even know
correct.
that was a thing.
FX was the. It was actually one of the FX launching shows.
So anyway, so I'm ready for season 3 whenever that decides to drop. So good to
You
go
always get
there.
the Shield mixed up with the Commish, which is hilarious.
What's to say? They're both chickless, right? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
but the Commish, he was like this super nice guy,
yeah.
It's
Super
true.
nice Jewish guy. Yeah,
and then you're watching it, and you're like, you forget it's a different show, and you're like, oh,
yeah. Oh wait, oh yeah, he does that in this one.
awful.
So then I finished off. I didn't write it down because I just thought about it. I finished up Into the Badlands. This 3 seasons. Was only had 3 seasons, but 3 seasons on Netflix. So ran out of my elliptical watching show. That one was good, got bad, and then got good again at the end. So. But then, so I started watching a show, Biohackers, not realizing it was a German show. And so, just like every single Netflix German show, the dub is the most atrocious thing known to God. But I cannot do just strict subtitles while exercising, so I'm fighting through it. I'm more and more wondering. We have this entire profession of voice acting and script translation and all this stuff for anime and video games and stuff. Why can't that extend into just like regular TV shows that come from other countries? Why don't we have Nolan North and Yuri and all that whole crew of professional voice actors that know how to match things to lip waggles and to speak and sound like you're actually there and not just reading lines? Why are they not engaged in this? I don't
Yeah,
don't
but
get it.
that process is actually a lot because generally you have to rewrite the script to match the lip waggles if you're going to do it that way, and
Right. I
obviously
mean, but
nobody wants to
even
pay.
yeah. But I mean, to the point where it sounds like the scripts were written by some second-year college guy that needed beer money, and then they just grabbed 5 people off the street to read lines. And the mixing is terrible. The sound mixing is never good either. I don't understand why they. I get it. It's money, but yeesh. And then so that's so Biohackers, that was that one, and I'm on the last episode of that. It was only 6 episodes. And then started Raised by Wolves on HBO. I'm 2 episodes into that. It's a thing. I think it's good. I think it's going to be good. I think.
Oh, it goes places.
Yeah, well, I was pretty convinced the first episode was a fever dream, and then they explained to me in episode 2 why it wasn't, and
Yeah.
then I was okay. But I'm guessing it's going to do that a few more times before it's done. So, probably the best Ridley Scott thing I've seen in a very, very, very long time. I think I'm comfortable saying that because Prometheus and Alien Covenant were pretty bad.
Cracktastic.
Yeah, terrible. They're just not good.
I don't know if I didn't. All right. I didn't see Alien Covenant. I didn't see Alien Covenant. So
Alien
I can't.
Covenant actually manages to be worse than Prometheus, and I hate Prometheus. So
See, I didn't hate Prometheus, but I don't know if it's I went in with such low expectations that like I ended up liking it. Like I don't know. Like because I only watched it once.
I mean, haven't we established at this point that you like bad things?
No, that's not true. That's not true at all.
Are you
Because
sure
I
we
have
haven't established that?
no. You keep trying, but it's just like we've proven time and time again that I have way better taste. See, it's not so fun when I can't see you. It's like I feel like I'm doing this behind your back.
Actually, it's kind of fun on this side because I can see that you
Oh,
can't see me. It's pretty good.
yeah,
with the frustration,
I don't like this. This is killing my flow.
to drink more whiskey, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
No.
We'll get it figured out.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty much the highlights. I'm sure there's stuff in there that I've done or watched that I forgot to write down, but that's a pretty good list.
Well, then let's move on to Dave because we know
Sure.
that's going to be a short list. I'm kidding.
Yeah. It's
I'm
Animal
kidding.
Crossing. That's all. I still actually play Animal Crossing, but I was always like a slow player. Like I didn't, um, like I wasn't time traveling or anything like that. Like I wasn't doing any of that kind of stuff. And I managed in the past week the 5 star My Island. So
Nice.
we actually got to the point where I guess the end game portion of it. So I got all 5 stars on my island. I'm growing
No.
gold roses and whatever those other flowers are when you get a 5 star island, and we're just working through like all that stuff. I check the stores every day, see if there's anything I want. Nothing crazy. It's just like my little break time, relax thing. Super Mario 3D All Stars came out today. I was excited for that because my son loves Mario games. He picked up on Mario, the Switch one, Odyssey.
Odyssey. Yeah.
He picked up on that like crazy. He's loving it. He plays some of the old school ones. Um, so he's a Mario fan. So that's kind of cool. So I told him today. I was like, dude, new game came out. It's 3 old Mario games you never played, and he got so excited. Earlier in the day, before he got home, from school, I was, watching. I was playing a little bit of it just to test it out, and man, Mario 64 sucked now.
Yeah, kind
I
of.
was having a real hard time with the controls on that thing. Like it just feels extremely floaty and not precise, and its camera and everything is just like way, way old. And I'm like, wow, this might be a struggle to play through again at this point. Um, because like the refinement, that's happened, with, I guess from Galaxy on, um, they're just really good. Um, so I tried out the Mario 64 real quick, and it's just like, wow, this has been rough. Um, and then Sunshine, and I remember struggling with Sunshine when I originally played it because like I just remember fighting the camera a lot, and the whole flood thing was just like weird and stuff, and I was struggling to get used to the controls and everything on there. So I'm curious how that's going to end up, if my son's going to play that one. He wanted to play Galaxy first, so that's probably like he just saw the planets and stuff and just thought that one looked cool, and he's right. Um, so he started playing that. And it's funny because like there's a game over in that one. You have 3 lives you start off with, and once you're dead, it's game over. So he was confused because that's not a thing anymore.
Right. I forgot that had lives.
Yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
too. Like I thought that's when they started. The whole like you can. I mean, it's forgiving because like you can save after you get the big stars and stuff, and if you die, you just right from there. Which is fine. But it's just funny. It's like it's a little more of a punishing game than I remember. Um, I mean, thinking of it from like the point of view of like 5-year-old. Um, so, um, so I think he's going to have fun with that. Probably obviously play a lot more of that this weekend. In between other stuff. Tony Hawk, the remaster, came out as well. So I was playing that on the PS4.
You turned your PS4 on?
Well, I mean, that's where it came out.
Do we want to sit here and no? Hey, let's take 20 minutes and let you guys judge. Tell your jokes out.
Good. That's it.
I need it.
Actually, I'm good. I knew you were going to do it because you were as excited
No,
about
I
the game
honestly-
as I was.
I didn't realize it wasn't coming out on Switch, so
Allegedly, it will be on the Switch. Apparently, somebody found some code or something that points to a Switch version, but they haven't announced or anything.
got it.
And you know something? I will buy it again on the Switch to play that portable. That is a fantastic game. I mean, it's the old game. Like it's now. I don't remember one thing though. I did find settings in here that make it for people who are now in their 40s. Was it in the original games? I don't remember.
No, there was a ton of quality of life upgrades that, well, not just that, but they also added like a lot of the more modern systems to link tricks together. So like if you do an ollie into a kickflip and then you land, you can do a manual to keep the chain
In the first
going.
games, yeah.
Right, in the first games, because that was never
Yeah.
in the first games.
Nah, that was in the second game.
Right.
That started in Tony Hawk 2.
Yep.
But so that was like, I was like, sweet. Like this is now like a lot more fun because you can just like jump in and just really goof around. And the funny thing was, so my son's playing it, and I was just like, I was like, oh, he goes, what's these? Like, he picked up the game. He's like, oh, what's this? I was like, oh, Daddy got a new game. And he's like, can I play it? I'm like, yeah, sure. If you want to play it. So we went downstairs. The PS4 is in the basement. Hooked up to the big TV down there. And so we were playing it, and then he was digging it. He was digging the music. He was like going through the tutorial things. So he was like, "Oh, what do I got to do, next?" And I was like, "Oh, you got to find another tape." And he's like, "Okay, what's the tape?" I'm like,
And you instantly felt ancient.
"Yeah," and I was like, "Huh." I was like, "Yeah, that's not even a concept."
Nope.
I was like, "It's not even like physical media is not even a concept for him. Like, everything's just downloaded that he watches, so it's like weird." So that was pretty funny. But he was going through the tutorial, having fun with it, So I'm just like, it was pretty cool. Fantastic game. It brings back all the memories. They have a ton of the old music, all the main stuff you want there. I mean, I had no complaints with the list. There's new music on there. I haven't figured out exactly all the new tracks, but I give them a try and look it up. But the music's great, the game's great. There's all kinds of all the fun stuff in there. Looks amazing. Plays fantastic. I mean, it's a classic fun game. It does not stop being fun. It just looks perfect now. So plays very smooth. Everything is great. I highly recommend it. It's not even.
What was the
I
question?
actually, who did the port of the game?
That is a good.
Do you know who
question.
handled it?
I will look it up.
Yeah, but it's a rock solid. It is the game we need right now. It is picking up where Animal Crossing left off. It is the game we need right now. So there was that.
Looks like it's Vicarious. Dang it. Come on.
Vicarious
There we go.
Visions.
Vicarious
yeah.
Visions, published by Activision.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought Activision lost that license, or do they just still own the old games?
I think they own the old game still.
Oh wow, I didn't even think of that. That makes sense. So yeah, you have that, so that's fun. Speaking of being spoiled by graphics on your big 4K TV with HDR and all that stuff, I was playing Atari Classic Collection on the Switch on the big TV.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like talking Atari 2600 games,
Yeah.
and
It's
my,
rough.
my wife and I were playing Circus Atari on it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just on the
Wow.
big TV. And we started getting competitive with it. And it was just hilarious. It went on for like an hour last weekend. And you're like, that was like, so the game in my house that like my parents used to play was video pinball. And my dad was so good at that game that he could flip the score.
Oh wow.
I mean, they were just monsters at it. And it's just like, I had no choice. Like everybody was like, like, oh, like my parents didn't let me play video games when I was a kid. I had to beg to go to sleep one night because we borrowed Frogger off our neighbors. And my mom just kept going, oh, just one more level, just one more try, just one more try. And I was like, are you kidding? I'm tired now. I need to go to bed. Mommy, can I please stop playing video games tonight? Like that was an actual thing that happened.
See, my parents were commercial artists, and they worked for True Value Hardware, and they knew the buyer for True Value, and so we got the Intellivision 6 months before it actually was released.
Wow.
Because Intellivision had given True Value one of these so that they could do like pictures of it and put together catalogs, etc. And that ended up going into the hands of my parents. So Astro Smash was the big one.
I love that game.
It's so good, but that was the one that my parents would stay up for hours on end trying to beat the high score on that, and it was the same kind of thing. It's like, I'm tired, I'm bored, I want to go to sleep.
Yeah. Like, shut up and play your games. Okay. Years later, I had a cool thing where it's like I got home from work late one night, and it was just like I had nothing going on. I got home from late. I was like working a thing, and then I was just like, hey mom, I got this. My mom and I were playing this game on the Atari Lynx called Clax. It was an old puzzle game. You guys remember that at all?
Yep, absolutely.
And there's like 100 levels at it, and like we're just sitting there playing. We were handing it back and forth, like when we're playing it. My mom looks over and goes, she goes, how many levels are in this game? I was like, oh, well, I think there's 100. And she goes, let's beat them all tonight. I'm like, all right. I was like, that'll be a fun, throwback to when I was a kid.
See, that's sadly something I've not been able to get Lexi into, is trading off the controller, because that's my favorite kind of social gaming.
Yeah.
You got a friend, a game, beat it together. Somebody dies, you hand off the controller, etc. That's my favorite.
And that's what was kind of funny. What we were doing with the Circus Atari is like we were passing the controller back and forth. It's like, okay, that's my score, beat it, and we were like, going back and forth with that, and that was kind of fun. So there was that. We played a little of the SNES version of the Super Mario All Stars came out.
I tried the original Super Mario on that, and the physics of the character are just different enough that all my muscle memory is jacked.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It really does. The momentum of the character is different. Everything.
It is slightly different. Like it looks better, but it slightly plays different. And Carrie was laughing at me because I was literally between one of the first question mark boxes. I ran up and I was in front of it, and then over past it. I was really doing a U around it, and I was just like,
That's bad. Why does it play differently? Why would they do that?
It's just what it is. It's a new, they updated all the graphics and everything like that. It just plays a little different. With the original one's on there if you want to play the original one. I just, it was a new one and it was on there, so I just wanted to try it. So I thought that was fun. What else game wise? I thought there was one more thing. Uh,
The DS
was
is
there some?
dead. Long live the DS.
Yeah, that took a while. Um,
Did
oh,
they officially stop production or?
and good job on the Switch. Did you ever hear this one?
Hmm.
I thought it was an indie title at first, but apparently it's a Nintendo game, and it's weird. Like you have to go through like this office kind of environment and like perform these like tasks, but you can't like destroy everything in the process. So it's like running like wire from like one thing to another, but like if you knock over a bunch of stuff, it deducts money from you know the overall like cost of things and everything. So you're doing it to like try and like maximize the score and like complete tasks, like get a new projector over to the conference room.
I don't want to hear you making fun of my spreadsheet games ever again.
No, but
Ever.
it's a ridiculous game. Like you're knocking stuff over. You know there's electrical things and all kinds of stuff. Like you're
Sounds like
making
a moving game.
yeah, you're like making a mess of things. Um, I'm not that far in it, so I can't really speak about it. But it was fun.
So it's like an
Um,
office goat simulator? Is that what I'm hearing? Or a office surgeon simulator?
maybe ish.
Like, are,
Um,
are the controls bad?
no, it's more like it's just kind of like loose.
Okay.
Like there's a lot of physics involved.
Right.
So like
Yeah,
if
so
you're
it's.
if you're if you're pulling like a cable across the floor and you hit a bunch of things, like you can knock over a whole cabinet and you know drop a water cooler on stuff and like you can do like all kinds of things. And there's like expensive things hidden in places. So like if you accidentally like bump into like a bookshelf, something can fall off the top, and next thing you know it's like $10,000 off your score. So you really have to like, there's a lot of trial and error to this stuff. It's fun. I don't know. It was neat. A little time waster. Um, shows. Did I know Archer was back?
Yes.
Okay, I did not know. It's 2 episodes in. So I got to watch. I watched like the first episode back, and it is freaking brilliant. Um, the show starts off incredible. So I'm really excited about that. Raised by Wolves. I should be watching that now, but you guys are like, yeah, we want to talk about the game. Um, the Boys, fantastic. That show is just great. I did get to rewatch The Mandalorian, so I ran through that, and I'm also catching up finally on Clone Wars. Um,
Hmm.
so I'm in the middle of that. I think I'm up to like season 3 in that because I wanted to rewatch everything before getting to the new stuff because I legitimately do not remember the second half of that series. And I think I was like spotty watching it when it was on TV and stuff. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to go through it again. Um, but that's a fantastic show, and it's the main stuff. I caught up on wrestling last weekend, so I actually like watched all the stuff that was on my DVR.
Did you watch the pay per view?
Did not watch the pay per view now.
You know you can log in and watch it the same way I told you before.
Yes, yeah, I should probably try that.
Yeah. So did you catch up on this week's?
No, not this week's.
This week. So I was saving that for mine, but this week is probably the best episode
Oh,
of
I'm
Dynamite.
I'm done. So you can just transition right into it then.
Oh, okay. This week is probably the best episode of Dynamite they've ever done. The main
Really?
event. The main event is a a parking lot match between Best Friends and Santana and Ortiz,
Oh yeah,
and
that should have been a good one.
Meltzer rated it 5 stars.
Holy crap!
Yeah, it was really good. Like the whole episode, what like I would say that this is the first time that they have truly achieved New Japan in the United States on television.
Really?
It was that good of a show. You really need to check it out. It's really good.
All right, I'm looking forward to that one then.
Um, I've turned into Dave for the last 2 weeks. I bought a game that I have not played, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And then I have only played one game, and that has been Avengers, and I haven't. So I'm glad neither of you bought it because you would have been giving me grief about it at this point.
It didn't sound good.
No, so it's still like it's not as good as the gameplay loop in Anthem, but it is still fun, and I am still having fun playing Thor. The problem is that I skipped story mode because I knew I wouldn't have time to do the 12-hour story mode. So I went straight into multiplayer because I'm like, I don't care about spoilers, whatever. The story, the missions don't have a ton of story on them anyways, and most people skip the cutscenes. So I'm like, I'll just go into multiplayer. There are some odd game design choices in that when you're playing online, you can't have 4 people with the Hulk, right? You can only have one Hulk, one Thor, one Iron Man, etc. So if somebody else already has your main character, then you got to play something else. And so I picked up Hulk, and now he's power level 25. Not level 25, but his power level is 25. And so I finally decided to go back and do the story. And so I started story mode, and I'm playing Kamala. She starts at level 1, and power level 1, and continue through. The third mission that you do with her is a team up with her and the Hulk. And you start playing the Hulk, no problem. He's cool, he's fun to play as. But then it switches to Kamala for the second half of that mission, and all the people are at the Hulk's level, which is power level 25, and Kamala's level 2. So it doesn't go very well. It's my characters, which is cool. I've done the work with Hulk, but it doesn't seem to take into account the fact that the characters may not be at the same levels. And so Kamala is level 2, and I'm dying over and over again. So now I have to go back and play multiplayer with Kamala to get her to at least level 25. Which I'm super afraid about any mission that pairs her with Thor now, because Thor's like level 80. And so it's like, I'm not going to do that. That's dumb. I'm hoping story mode ends before I find Thor. I know that's not going to be the case, but I'm kind of hoping it. So we'll see.
Eesh.
Yeah. So I've kind of been told that once you get past the first few, it doesn't matter who you put on your team because you can always swap them out. So I'm hoping that's the case, but I'm still in the phase where I can't swap out the people yet, so that sucks.
Yeah, but that seems like an unnecessary struggle.
It does seem like a very odd design choice for putting together. I mean, it's like they didn't even consider that someone might skip story mode and go in multiplayer and then have characters that are out of sync. It's very strange. Like, they're the ones that gave us that option. So why wouldn't you account for that? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if that's even an option, that's not too hard to think about beforehand. Like, you think somebody would immediately be like, "Hey, wait a minute."
Well, there's a lot of that,
Yep.
actually, that you're like,
That,
hey,
that's an
wait a
MVP
minute.
plus feature.
Shoot. So that's it for my gaming front.
Well, we did play Divinity.
Oh, we did play Divinity, of course, on our Monday stream, and that will actually be ending soon, or not ending, but going on hiatus, because when Baldur's Gate 3 Early Access drops on the 30th, that means that the 5th will be the next Monday night, and we will be making characters. That will be Matt, Daniel, myself, and we need to find a consistent 4th, which I think Daniel might have an idea on. I'd ask Dave, but I know he's not going to say yes consistently.
That's
No offense, Dave.
Baldur's Gate. Have you met me?
Yeah, I know. That's way more commitment than you're ever going to dish out for anything.
Yeah, it's just not happening.
Yeah, I figured. So
Crap. Alexa, turn on the front lamp.
So that's it on the video game playing side.
You are such a modern something or other.
Watching, Daniel was out here the week before last, and he had never seen Doom Patrol, so we sat down and we watched all of season 1 together.
Oh, what
he's
a
like,
great!
He's like, this is so amazing. I'm like, I know, dude. Wait till you get to season 2, and I rewatched all 8 episodes of season 2. I'm so bummed that they just like had to end production on it because I really want to know how that ends, but it's pretty good. Will Smith signed the dramatic remake of The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I was kind of tracking that online for some reason. I don't know why. It strikes me as funny, even though it's not going to be funny. The
Makes sense.
Yeah, this is like the Riverdale, I can't take serious, moody, depression, Archie stuff. I don't know why. It just doesn't jive in my head.
Well, it's crazy to me that they made that trailer and then signed a 2-season deal with Peacock for it. So that's kind of crazy. There's nothing else, just that, and they managed to do it. So that's cool.
Speaking of
I think
season two, Raised by Wolves already got a season two greenlit. Greenlit.
nice.
Things are getting
So
season twos really fast these days.
if people are taking chances on stuff, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that we're in a TV and gaming golden age for sure right now.
Kind
TV,
of are.
yeah, TV, gaming, and storytelling golden age is how I would pose that personally.
I mean, there is a lot of like. I mean, I know like they really went reality for a number of years, and I think the backlash hit because there are like, I mean, a a ton of really great shows. Did you ever watch Succession?
No,
Nobody ever saw that one? That show's it's got Kieran Culkin in it, who's like my favorite character ever on TV. His character on that show is amazing. It's not one of those shows where like everybody's a POS, so it's not like it's not a feel good show in any way, shape, or form. You're just kind of like watching every week just to see just how much of a POS everybody is. So it's actually kind of fun, but it's like super well done. And that's just like that's like a considered like a mid level show, you know. Um, but yeah, I would definitely agree with that assessment. There's just a ton of great content out there.
There still is a lot of reality TV on broadcast TV, though.
well, and that's okay because it is by far and away the best of the. I mean, we're kind of whittled down to the best of the cream of the crop at this point for what's still going on in reality. I'm really enjoying season 19 of The Voice is starting soon. So that's going to be one that's on the list. Then we're going to have Titan Games pick up again. That's been really good. We've enjoyed watching that.
The soundtracks of TV shows like Watchmen that just got an Emmy. So Trent Reznor now has an Emmy,
Hey, I'm all for that.
which
All
is
for that.
which is exactly what I was thinking when I was listening to Broken when it first came out.
I,
Oh yeah, I can't wait for this guy to get an Oscar, an Emmy, and score a Disney movie.
I'm still freaking Old Town Road is so weird. I own Ghosts and I play it at least
Mhm.
once a week. And the fact that someone sampled it without his permission and he was cool enough to say, "Hey, make this happen for them.
Yeah.
Let's not penalize them for this. Let's if they want to use it and it takes on this life of its own, go for it." I
What
can't.
also is kind of the way it happened. It wasn't done maliciously. Like
No.
they did it kind of goofing around, and it just kind of exploded, and people didn't expect it or anything like that. And and Brent's like he's good. He's not poor. He's not destitute. He's you know doing super creative things all over the place and everything. And he's cool with things taking a life of their own. They made it right. They weren't like trying to be sneaking around his back or anything like that. So there was no reason for any animosity with stuff. And it's just kind of like a cool thing, just to see people like react that way. And I mean, me, I love the guy. He's my favorite artist of all time. So I think that's awesome. But now, like, everybody was like, can can he get a Tony?
That would
Because
that would be pretty sweet if he did get a Tony.
it's a
But
short list.
but
It's a short list.
you know that would be have to be one super dark musical.
I, I don't know. Like I mean, he does all kinds of stuff, you know.
Yeah,
So
but
I'm
it's
really
it's all pretty thematically consistent, right? It's not like he's Lin Manuel Miranda writing freaking show, oh,
yeah.
what's the rock song? You're welcome from what? What is that? Um, I'm trying to say Mulan because it's top of mind, but that's not
Oh,
it.
Moana.
Oh,
Moana,
Moana.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like he really branches out to do happy songs ever. They're all metallic and alienating and sad. That's really his shtick, and he doesn't go
Did you
too
hear?
far.
Did you hear the song "Everything"? I mean, people got mad over that song because it
Okay,
sounded too happy.
but that's like his one, right? That it's not like we're saying, did you hear this album where he was happy? That's his one.
Yeah.
Everything is his one. So
And
yeah.
that will bring to end our Trent Reznor podcast for the week.
Hey, Dave and I both are like in love with the guy. So what are you gonna do?
I'm just giving you a little
No,
motivation.
I appreciate it. I keep
It's
looking at the clock. We have like an hour's worth of content, and I'm not gonna be able to
Matt
fit it
Ford.
in.
Matt Ford.
Yeah,
I don't blame
yeah.
him.
Matt's fine. Matt's just trying to keep us on track.
The all elite. I'm sorry. The AEW All Out pay per view was during the time we were off. It was fantastic. Also, I've been watching a lot of YouTube, Critical Role especially. I am now all caught up on Campaign 2. That's pretty much what I've been doing. Because the real game that I've been playing, which I didn't feel was fair to talk about in the video game side, was it's been called Where's My Stuff? When am I getting my stuff? I will be buying a domain name and setting up a review site for this moving company and then plastering it across social media. I will buy ads for it. If I can actively detract business from them, I will do so. Because this is ridiculous. I'm not super happy about this. And then I've been watching some music stuff with Andrew Huang because he's amazing. But mostly Critical Role. Like I heart that group so much. It's amazing how much they've done for D&D and live roleplay. But the things we have to talk about in the next 52 minutes. Number one, Nintendo Direct. Dave, tell us about it.
Which one? They dropped a bunch of little ones
The newest
lately.
one, the one that came out like yesterday.
Uh, what was on that? I didn't watch it. I'm sorry. Was it?
You're the
Was it
one
any
who
good?
said I had to add it to the list of topics for discussion tonight
Whoa, when? I didn't even talk to
in the
you.
podcast email.
The 35th. You actually touched on it already that they dropped the.
Yeah, the 35th. What you call it? The 35th anniversary of Mario. The Mario 3D All Stars dropped today.
No, but
That's what I was talking about.
oh, I thought you were talking about the one they did yesterday.
No, no, I didn't even get to watch that one. I mean, I like skimmed a couple things, and I was just like, I think there's like a Monster Hunter announcement or something. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, there was a Monster Hunter. Yeah, they got
That's what it
their
was.
own Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
their own Monster Hunter. Okay, great. Well, then we can skip that one. Night
Yeah,
City Wire Episode 3 for Cyberpunk 2077. They discussed the. Did you end up watching it, Dave, or no?
did not get a chance to watch that one. Was it good?
It was. It was lighter on information than the other two, but at the same time very illuminating. They covered the gangs, and there's a lot of gangs in this game. And they did talk about whether or not you can join a gang, which you cannot because you're a merc and no one will trust you to actually put their agenda ahead of your own because you're already known for making all kinds of. But when the multiplayer game comes out, I'm almost positive that you will choose a gang and inherit the powers, weapons, and vehicles from that gang. That's kind of how I'm seeing this now.
That'll
As
be
I'm
like your faction.
That'll be your faction, and that's exactly it. And it's pretty cool because they have some really diverse gangs with different vehicles and effects and cosmetic looks and stuff like that. So that'll be pretty interesting if that's how they approach it, and I think they will be approaching it that way. Monster Hunter Nintendo Direct. Yes, that is correct. That is what Dave failed to report on. Banner, you have this correct. Yes. I'm just
Never played a Monster Hunter game, so I'm assuming it's exciting. I'm sorry. I'm terrible at this. Terrible.
To be honest, to be fair,
To be fair,
it's actually more like a Souls game than anything else. So I'm not surprised you've never played it.
yeah, that just makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Although there's a handful, or probably more than a handful of people that are mad that it's not just a straight Monster Hunter World port, but I'm sure the Switch may not quite be the right platform for that. So
Yeah. Other things in the Night City Wire episode 3, they covered the construction of the city, and they pretty much said that, obviously this was different than anything they worked on The Witcher. This is perhaps the most complex thing that any member of the team has ever worked on in their life. And there's so much within the city, which the one thing I noticed today, the one thing my brain finally put together is that it's the freaking Bay Area. I did not understand that it was San Francisco in the Bay Area. Night City is San Francisco in the Bay Area, if you weren't aware, because they were like, oh, well, this gang's in Hayward. And I'm like, wait, I lived right next to Hayward for a time. And they're like, oh, this city's in Paradise, in the Heights. And I'm like, wait, that's a section of San Francisco. And they're like, this city's in the Haight. And I'm like, wait, that's another section of oh crap, this is, yeah. So it's San Francisco and the East Bay all combined into one giant city. So that's kind of crazy. I never put that together until now.
I had no idea that there was real world inspiration for that.
Well, they talked about, actually, when they were constructing the city, that they looked at a bunch of real world maps about where it was located, and I'm like, real world maps? I thought this was a completely fictional city, but no. As they zoomed in, and I'm like, that's Oakland, and there is no San Francisco. It's all one massive land piece now in the city, but it's kind of interesting nonetheless. So yeah, that really surprised me. And Daniel's like, yeah, you didn't know that? I'm like, no, Mr. Shadowrun / Cyberpunk, I didn't know that. So yeah.
Play that old Shadowrun game on the SNES.
Well, there's a newer one, and it's supposed to be really good, and I haven't played that either. Monster.
Yeah, but I don't play the old one. Any good?
Yeah, you
Do
can.
you know? No, do you know?
I don't know if it's any good. I've
never played it.
No.
Seems like something you would have played.
You would think. I don't know why it slipped past me.
Seems like something I would have played.
That maybe is telling you something that you both didn't play it. There may be a reason there.
Well, I didn't have a Super Nintendo, so that was my excuse.
Well, you would have bought one just to play it if it was worth it.
Nah, not back then. I had money for one system.
Yeah, I was renting games at the time, so it probably wasn't at my store, and that's why I didn't get it. Okay, so that's the only other thing that was cool in the Night City Wire episode 3 is apparently they had a PC case modding contest, and they had 5 different people, but they only showed 3. But one of them, I'm not joking, the case grew legs and began to walk like a centipede. It was super creepy and techno weird, and I really liked it. Really, really liked it. But yeah, you can see those on their website, so that was kind of cool. That brings us then to the PlayStation 5 showcase, in which I will pop. Oh, why is this not working? Everything's not working tonight.
Because it's caught in an infinity loop.
Oh, I see why it's not working.
Does everybody see that, or is that just we see that?
No, everybody sees it at the moment.
Nice.
Now they don't. Now they only see the screen. I was actually gonna talk about the PlayStation showcase, the PlayStation 5 showcase. We'll look at a couple things. Obviously, the first thing they announced, which I'll kind of scrub through, was Final Fantasy 16.
How did that not get leaked? How did that just totally take everybody by surprise? How did that?
It wasn't. It was a rumor beforehand that it was going to be there, and I, in my predictions, because Ken and I did that one, I did predict that they would actually show it. I did not
Okay.
expect it to be as
Far
detailed.
along.
Yeah, so as far along as it is, because this looked great, and it is a full action RPG combat system, but it looks really interesting. the The things that stood out to me was that number one, they've gone Game of Thrones hardcore on the fantasy, which I'm all about. It's back to like medieval times kind of thing. And then number two, it could be rated M. There's a lot of blood in that trailer. I'm really surprised at the amount of blood. So I'm thinking it might actually be rated M. And then the third and final thing is that it looks pretty good. I'm almost positive this is the developer that does Final Fantasy 14 that is actually helming the production, because
It's
at,
the director and writer are the ones, because I thought it was a 14 tie-in at first. That's what I was
so did I.
thinking.
So did I at first, because it looks so much like 14 that I really thought that that was the case. Oh, you guys can see it now. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, good. Right? You can see the video now?
Yeah, I can see
Oh,
it.
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay.
Perfect.
The summons look insane.
The summons, well, so they called them icons in this one, and this is actually something that they took from Final Fantasy 14, is that people are the ones that summon the icons. And so it's the person that has the power. And if you listen to the very beginning, they're like, we have to take out the dominant of Shiva. Nothing else, just the dominant. And so I think that's how they're gonna run that. And that's kind of interesting. That means that these people are going to be strategic assets for different kingdoms, and maybe you can get them on your side so that you can summon Shiva, etc. I don't know how that's going to work, or maybe
It
they have
seems weird because you see that main character with fire, like a fire attack, and you see him like a rock fist attack. So it's like he's somehow taking on characteristics of the summons in some factor.
And the other real question is, do you only get to play that one guy the entire time? Because that's what it sure looks like at this point.
That's how it looks, but
Yeah. And then we got a bit more on the Miles Morales Spider-Man side of things, which
yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man was crazy. This somehow looks even crazier with all of his storm powers and whatnot. Just this little section of gameplay. So one of the big complaints that everyone was talking about in chat was that the stream was only 30 frames per second. And they wanted to know that the games were going to run in 60 frames per second. But when you look at this demo specifically, you know exactly why they did 30 is because when we saw the Ratchet and Clank game earlier at a higher frame rate, there was a lot of tearing. It was really like there was a lot of graphical nonsense in the stream. And when you run at 30, you have less of that. And for this alone, I think is the main reason that they did it at 30. Just so that this didn't go ape, because there's so much going on the screen. You've got particle effects, lighting, shading, all this different, it's nuts. And so I'm pretty sure that they lowered the frame rate just for that. But this looks fantastic. Do we have bets for how long we think the campaign's actually going to be for it?
I'm guessing about 15.
Really? I'm thinking 10 at most.
Well, yeah, 10 for normal people, 15 for me.
Ditto. Dave, are you anticipating this one or not so much?
Oh yeah. If I ever get a PS5, this is my first game.
Oh, come on. Stop it. We all got pre-orders other than Banner, who's watching, and that's his fault. I didn't mean that. I did kind of mean that. Sorry, Banner. Love you. I'm going to help you get a PS5. We'll get it done. But yeah, I'm super excited about this.
Real bad to hear that over there.
He's chopping. I don't know if it's because he's feeding us or what.
I don't know. You guys have been chopping for a while. I have to keep switching back to Zune to get it to stop chopping broccoli. I'm not chopping now, am I?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, it sounded choppy.
Yeah. So this was really, yeah, I really like this. One of my favorite reactions from a couple other people is this section where he's getting the people, and then there's the one left that's falling on the bridge. There, you'd be surprised how many people said, "You got most of them. One's fine."
They basically don't understand Spider-Man.
Yeah,
No.
no, I know, but it was funny nonetheless. I heard that from multiple people. I thought that was pretty doggone funny. So yeah, there's Spider-Man. That looks really
Yeah,
good.
1 year after the end of the Marvel Spider-Man. So
So is Spider-Man gone in the main game? You know, I didn't finish it. I
we,
it,
we
it
well no, no, I mean at the end you see at the end. Well, I guess it's not spoilage if you're looking at this. At the end, you find out that the event that happened to Miles during the game gave him spider powers, and so at the very end, him and Peter are hanging from the ceiling, and then in the DC, there's conversations between Miles calling Peter, asking when they're going to start training. And
okay.
at the end of that, then they basically formalize that, okay, yeah, no, we're going to start training.
So I mean, we could
So,
see Peter in this as well then.
yeah, we could easily see Peter in this. I kind of half expected him to pop up during this bridge sequence, but it makes sense that they wouldn't bring him if he is going to be in there. That they wouldn't bring him in. That they want Miles to be the star here, and that's right. And Miles and Peter exist in the same universe in the comics now, and there's not a ton of crossover between the two. So.
I'm getting flamed in the chat for my comments. Sorry, Banner. You know I love you. I couldn't resist. Uh, and then probably one of the biggest surprises for me, I knew about this game and it's been so long I forgot about it. And so it was a total surprise when they actually showed it. Because I think it was, God, I have to say it was like a year and a half ago. I had heard that this was in development, and then I completely
Yeah.
forgot about it. And that's the Harry
Oh yeah,
Potter.
we heard nothing about it after that. Yeah.
Yeah, we
So
haven't. And they have done a very purposeful job of never saying Harry Potter in this. And also, they have come out after the fact and said that J.K. Rowling has no direct input to this game whatsoever, because they don't want to be associated with any of that. And I feel really bad. You probably have like 200 devs that have spent the last 5 years working on this game, and then to have them kind of embroiled in the controversy that she's spewing right now, it's sad. I think this looks fantastic. I am a little disappointed that it is single player, that you can't do multiplayer co-op or anything like that. I wasn't. Yeah, I know. You're super
Dave did
happy.
have a dance.
Yeah.
Again, I'm wondering. I mean, it's obviously still must fairly early. Well, not early, but still not near finished because some scenes look amazing, and then other scenes look like, ooh, that's rough still. So there's definitely some polish that needs to go on there yet. But
Yeah. But I mean, I think for getting the point across of what it is, fantastic. Like these shots
yeah,
outside, they look amazing. Like,
yeah.
sign me up. And it looks super weird and quirky, and it's an action RPG, so I'm down with that. And I'm really he blames his wife. Uh huh. Yeah, blame the wife. I gave you the code, remember, not the wife. I'm just saying. But yeah, I think this looks great. I'm super excited about it. This was probably my surprise of the show, and I actually heard quite a few people say I'm gonna have to get a PS5 now because of this, which was surprising to me. And it's not like it's only coming to PlayStation 5. It's coming to other things. We got the next Call of Duty, and it looks, you
Like
know,
Call of Duty.
it looks like Call of Duty. The only thing that I have to say about this is set in the 80s, and the most unrealistic thing for me is this darn RC car. It's got to be doing 150 miles an hour in 1980s for an RC car. I don't think so. I don't think so.
The battery would have to be the size of one of the real size cars.
That's what I'm saying, right? Is like it does, plus it's carrying a bomb, so it's like this doesn't. No, I mean, I'm pretty easy to suspend my disbelief for something, but that took me right out of this. It's so silly that that's the thing that did it, but that was it.
Yeah. Laser pointer sights weren't super common then either, but
Yeah, and
Well,
wouldn't they have
they're
seen? Wait, let me back
gonna
up.
have them.
Let me back up for a
yeah.
second here. He's scoping it out, right? And oh, I guess this doesn't have it. But there's a point later. I swear there was something in the very beginning where there was a laser scope, and I'm like, wouldn't they have seen the sight at that point? And you'd be, yeah. Anyways, it's fun. It is fun. It looks fun. They're doing the alpha this weekend for PS4 players, so you can get in on the
And
multiplayer.
I mean, the big thing for me is Raven getting a shot to be in the spotlight again. So
yeah, but it's Treyarch's doing the multiplayer, but it's
Treyarch's
Raven
doing the
doing
multi, but Raven did the campaign.
yeah, which I think looks great. So I'm sure that'll be fun for COD players. We got
Resident Evil.
yeah, Resident Evil Village.
Freaking amazing! It's insane.
I
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it looks all right, but then they got to this one screen here with the old woman, which I have to admit I am curious. What the heck is that thing right there? Maybe it's the old woman. I don't know. But this shot right here with the old woman is coming up right now. There. Super creepy. I really like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The RE engine is really kind of amazing how flexible this thing is and how good it looks.
But yeah, I'm interested to learn more about that. It was not super long, and they have this section in the middle of it where this looks like Tim Burton directed this.
Yep.
And if that's what they were going for, success. It works. But I kind of like the themes. It did look interesting. It did look like there were monsters with weapons, which I think are the actual villagers. So that will be interesting to see. And then we came to kind of a interesting thing about Deathloop. So this is still like, you guys know I'm not a first person shooter person, but this is really interesting to me because I think this is the first time that we learned that there's going to be PvE missions.
And, that right now.
Okay, there's PvE missions and things to do in the game beyond, like, that's a lot deeper on levels. They talk about this guy and how he keeps trying to take him out one at a time, but then he eventually figures that he has an invite to Sergei's party across the way, and so if he can screw up the inventive breakthrough that he has in the morning, then he can get Sergei to be depressed to go to the party where he can try and take out both of these targets at the same time. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. So you've got 8 targets that you have to take out in one evening. And so it's going to be, how do I get the right circumstances to happen so that I can actually set up the optimal run to kill all 8 of them and make it away from the other player who's hunting me. So it's kind of interesting. I think this is like a super interesting design for a game in terms of both aesthetics, but also in the idea of using time as the weapon so that you can learn patterns and go over it over and over again. So that's kind of weird and interesting. This got pushed back to Q2 of 2021, but that's okay. I'll still probably buy it when it comes out because it just looks super cool.
And at the end, you gotta remember, there's going to be that random player out there that's going to ruin your perfect run and make you start all over again.
I know. That's why it's like, I don't like PvP, but that intrigues me. It's interesting. It may become an exercise in being annoyed, but I don't know. Devil May Cry 5, where you can play as Virgil. Is that interesting to anyone but me? No.
No, I think I unlocked Virgil in the regular version, so I think I can do that already. I mean, it's cool. They got me it got me excited that we were going to get a new Devil May Cry. So I got a little disappointed by this one, actually.
Yeah. And Dave's falling asleep because he doesn't care about Devil May Cry.
It's you're chopping up pretty bad. I really didn't hear what you were saying. I'm sorry.
No problem. You guys were chopping up for me too, so I'm not sure what's going on there. There's an actual
Fine though. So
there's an actual Five Nights at Freddy game coming. Is that something
that was weird?
Yeah, is that something you're interested in, Dave?
No. I mean, I know it's like a thing, and it's like they're like what 6, 7 games deep into it, but it's not something I've actually played.
Okay. I'm gonna kill this just to see if that makes things a little bit better. Hopefully.
I mean, that's started.
All right. There we go. And then of course we came to what, in my opinion, is the game that is defining next gen right now, which I can't believe because it's a remake.
Sackboy.
No, it's a remake that looks better than some of the games that are actually coming out for the first time, and that is Demon Souls. This looks so crazy good. Dave, did you even watch this?
I did.
And what's the... I mean, is it interesting to you at all, or no?
Well, not to play. I mean, it looks great.
Okay.
I'm not going to take away from it. I know people love it, and I appreciate that. It's just not something I play.
Okay.
It's not fun to me.
And Matt, you're similar opinion, right?
Yeah, I mean, I get the appeal. I understand the it's that whole same one more game thing, right? I mean, it's that same wanting to master it thing, but I can't bring myself to go and get that level of frustration. I mean, I've tried Bloodborne, and that's supposed to be like the easy mode of these, and that drives me insane. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see. So we talked about this. This is probably my most anticipated game. $80 or $79. Yeah, $80. $70? $80. What is it? The new
69.
Yeah. The only reason I'm screwed up is because Walmart was hijacking prices. I don't know if you saw this, but they started bumping the cost of everything up by $10. So
wow.
All the games were $80 when they should have been 70. The controllers were $79.99, all that stuff, and they sold through all of them. I'm like, wow, that's really crappy way to do that, which we'll get to momentarily.
That's dropping prices to their lowest. That's their mission, right?
Yeah. I just thought the lighting on this looks amazing. Yeah.
The point is solid. I mean, they know how to milk systems. I don't know why they don't do any original stuff, but man, they know how to milk a system.
Well, what kills me is that this is a launch game, right? It's not even like a midway through development game. It's a launch game, and it looks better than any other game that we've seen so far. It's crazy. Crazy. How are we doing on time? Well, we're doing all right. They showed us, of course, Fortnite, Ratchet and Clank, and Fortnite, and then they introduced the PlayStation Plus collection, which is 18 games that are generation defining from the PlayStation 4 that you will get for free from day one. That have, I guess, been remastered in some way for PlayStation 5.
Yeah, they didn't really commit to whether they were any type of PS5 optimizations or just straight ports or what. Yeah,
upsamples. Is my guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see for sure. But yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how they grow that. Yeah, you have to have Plus, but if it's not an additional feature, it's just if you got Plus. Now, unfortunately, yes, for me, both of them are PlayStation exclusive first party games, which means I've already played them.
Yeah, I mean, a good chunk of them, same here. But there are a few that I have not that I'm looking forward to. So
Yeah,
that's yeah, it's
Days
interesting.
Gone, for example. Yeah, I'm excited to try it out. That's one I've contemplated getting several times.
And you know, if Until Dawn is up-res, that'll be good for party games. Detroit Become Human, I still haven't played, even though I own, because I'm like Dave. So I need to play that at some point. But yeah, I'm interested to see all this. It's so weird to see Infamous Second Son. It was so early in the console generation.
Yeah. Did they ever do an HDR patch for that? I don't know. I haven't fired
I
that
don't
up
think
since I've
so.
gotten an HDR TV.
I don't think so. But we'll see. They then, of course, announced the price finally, $3.99, $4.99, and promised us. They've been promising for months that we would know exactly when pre-orders were going to start. They told us pre-orders would start tomorrow, and then, as the name of this title for September 18th, 2020 is the PS5 Clusterfudge. Um, all the retailers broke the street date and immediately started putting them online, where they started selling out within 2 minutes. A lot of sneaker bots had been rearranged to.
I'd like
Uh,
try cutting a video to see if it clears up the.
oh yeah,
I
okay,
cannot hear you at all right now.
all right,
I'm
that's fine.
sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Let me know. Better now? Wait, not now. Hold on. Is it better now?
Okay, again.
Is it better now?
That's a little better. It's still a little choppy.
Okay. Well, I can't do much more about it than that at the moment.
Yeah,
I've
no, I
got
was just curious if we didn't need it, like if that would help.
yeah. In fact, let me kill all of this because I don't need any of that open. Maybe that will help some. I don't know. We'll see. But pre-orders went live. I think Walmart was the first one to break the date.
I
Um,
was gonna say, do we know who the first one that kicked this off? Because I assume one did it and then everyone followed suit.
it was Walmart, and then Target, then Sam's Club, and then GameStop. But by that point, GameStop's website was down. It was actually saying that you were banned from the site when you would go to it. It was pretty funny. Uh,
Wow.
oh yeah, it was really really bad. Best Buy, I had the PS5 in my cart and then clicked checkout for 30 minutes with nothing happening. Best Buy was
Hmm.
I think the fourth one or fifth one to actually go, and had it in my cart for 30 minutes. And the worst part was this was during wrestling. So it happened during AEW Dynamite. So I'm trying to take notes for the Wrestling Smart Mark podcast of what was going on, and I'm sitting there trying to pre-order a PS5 at the same time. It was kind of a chaotic mess. But after 30 minutes, I finally got the checkout to go through, and then it told me once I entered my shipping and my billing information that the item could only be picked up in stores. So choose a store, and I would choose a store, and then it would tell me the item could only be shipped.
Yeah, their website's horrible.
Yeah.
I
So
went to get just a couple accessories today, and I started with them. And for each item, it was forcing me to do something different. So like one was like only available in store, and it was kind of doing that loop thing. But then another item was like you couldn't have it shipped, and another item was like just something different. Like it was like three different things going on, and I was just like, no, no, I'm not, no, I'm not giving you money, nothing.
It's weird because I'm used to giving Best Buy my money. I mean, that's part of my plan, right? I get
Mhm.
Best Buy gift cards specifically for this. And I have all of my Best Buy gift cards still because I was not able to do anything with them. I ended up getting my accessories directly from Sony because Sony's site was working just fine that night. and then we know what the story with the consoles is. I don't know if we're going to go down that path, but
Oh, we are, and I'm going to take this opportunity to say f you, Sony. It's a family show, but man, they promised that they were going to send out emails to people to do pre-orders. I spend a veritable boatload of money on the PlayStation Network per year. There's only one person who actually, I think, spends more than I do, and that's Banner. And Banner didn't get the email. I didn't get the email. Press got the email, and only high-profile press got the email to
I
pre-order.
I didn't get anything, which is just I don't even understand that. I mean, just because I didn't turn it on more than twice this year, they're going to hold that against me. I mean,
So, like I
clearly,
was saying,
yes.
only important people got the email in the public eye.
because
But
they weren't going to end up with units one way or another anyway, but
yeah, it's dumb. The only thing I can say is I hope that Sony offers it to more of their actual valued customers. And the big thing turned out to be, as I started to say before, yeah, Banner says he never received the email. Um, oh yeah, and I can't forget that at the end of the conference was God of War Ragnarok was
oh
teased.
yeah.
Yeah, I have to mention that. But yeah, Banner says, truly thinking about getting Xbox as my slap in the face to Sony. That's an option. But yeah, it became a case where I knew that Amazon was the only one left. They didn't even have a product page up. They only had a generic splash page. And then we all managed to get the link to Amazon's dark web shenanigans and managed to put them in our cart. And hooray, we all have PlayStation 5 pre-orders, thank God.
Shouldn't they have this stuff figured out by now? I mean, this is not.
Well, I mean, what the problem is, like, what can Sony do, right? I mean, you have a bunch of retailers that all just went rogue on you. They can't not give them product because that'll make the situation even worse. I mean, they could try to find them, but then all they do is not pay it, and then they don't get product, and then that just makes the situation worse. So, I mean, what could Sony? I'm saying, yeah, it's a crap show. But it's not like, how could Sony have prevented it? I don't know.
Well,
I assume
they,
these things work on basically handshake deals normally. So the guys decided to not regard the handshake deal.
no, I think what it is Sony made a stupid mistake in telling each store ahead of time how many they were going to have so that they could put up the pre-orders early. Microsoft, I think, has not given quantities to pre-order resellers so that they can control when that stuff gets out. And it seems to me that if they were going to have people start pre-ordering the next day, they could have said to each of these retailers, Best Buy, Walmart, etc., hey, we'll email you with your quantity amounts on Thursday so that you can start taking pre-orders. But instead, they had given them all the information they needed ahead of time, so retailers felt no compunction to honor the date, and they wanted to be the first to market to sell out of stock. And the demand was way more than what they thought, mainly because of sneaker bots. And if you're not
Yeah.
familiar with sneaker bots, this is the thing that's making concert tickets and all this other stuff, like wrestling event tickets. It's been happening for a while now. Is that bots are used to buy sneakers online from retailers when they first come out, and people are retooling them for other things like PlayStation 5s. And that's basically what happened. Was a large
Analog
majority.
pockets. Sorry,
What?
I'm still really bitter.
The analog pocket, he couldn't get one because they all
Did
got
we not talk about
caught.
this on the show?
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
think we didn't. I think we talked about it in the chat, but that may have been during one of Mark's hiatuses too.
I think it was. So there's this company called Analog.
Mhm.
Are you're familiar with them?
No.
They
This is
they
the handheld with the crank on the side.
Oh
no
yeah.
no no no
Okay.
no 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 no.
No,
That's not them.
no, not this one. Okay. Oh,
Analog
no,
is
Yeah.
Yeah, Analog is a company that basically makes modern hardware that plays old actual cartridges. So if you have like an old, like, Super Nintendo Genesis, you can go buy a modern console from them that has like HDMI out, all kinds of like, stuff like that, all your, modern bells and whistles.
Okay.
So it works on a new TV, but it plays your original cartridges. So you have that full, compatibility thing. So they were going to make a handheld. And this has been announced like for over a year and a half. So they announced when they were going to do the pre-orders and everything like that. They got, swamped, bots were taken over. I got in right away and I was like, put in, had the stuff added to the cart. I was waiting for the transaction to hit. It took like, 10 minutes for the transaction. And by the time I got everything in my cart, everything was gone in my cart. I had like the accessories and it said like, oh, the, console's out of stock. I was like, no, it was in my cart. It was in the cart. Like if it's in the cart, it should be accounted for.
I
It's
agree.
just it's just that simple. Like it's like, if once it gets into somebody's cart, until they check out, it is theirs and it should be theirs. I don't know. So what basically was happening is like, a lot of people were saying that they had like, bots slamming it. It slowed it down enough, so all the bots, got them and, they're already up on eBay when the system's like not even going to be like made for like another year or something like that.
Yep.
It's not even in production yet.
Oh
Um,
yeah, the PS5 pre-orders are already on eBay for like triple retail.
yeah.
They're out there. Yeah.
And
No,
that's
it's
happening.
not bad. Most of them are double retail. Like it seems like the
Yeah, there have been some triples, but yeah,
well, yeah. I
they're
mean,
mostly
there's a
doubles.
PS5 up there for $25,000. I don't think anyone in the right mind is going to buy it,
No.
but it looks like the disc based ones are going for around 900, and the disc-less ones are going for about 675 to 725, somewhere in there.
Jesus. What's wrong with people?
And all we have to do to stop this is to not buy those.
I want to know who is buying. Like
Resell them.
a buddy of mine called up. He called me up this week, and he was just like, "Dude, I just got back from the Lego store. They have two more Cantina sets there, and they're giving away the." So Lego basically put out a giant um, Mos Eisley Cantina set. It's like $350. It comes with like 20 some minifigures, a lot of ones that like haven't ever been released before. It's a really cool set. It's cool. I just can't do it right now. And the way Lego is right now with their production, like if you don't buy it, at midnight when it hits the website, you're not getting it for a while. And so he called me up, and there's a local Lego store, and he was like, "Dude, you gotta go get it." I'm like, I will not be married if I drop another, few $100 on something like that this week. It's like I'm at my limit. I just order, PlayStation 5 pre-order. Like, we're good. And I spent like, a lot of money on Lego last month. We're good right now. But it was coming with this, so they were giving away a little freebie set that was a just like a little prop of it was a Lego version of Yoda's lightsaber hilt. Nothing particularly great looking. It's a you know, little model of the Yoda lightsaber. It doesn't have like, anything to it. Just like a little stand and there's a little lightsaber. Bunch of gray bricks. Like it's nothing fancy. People are selling that online for like $120. And it's literally like a $15 freebie. Like, there's nothing to it. And I'm like, man, maybe I should have just got it just to
To flip it.
yeah, I would have sold that piece and kept the rest of the set, and I'd be like, oh, I, made $100 back on that set.
Well, and that's what people are doing with it. And the funny part is when you look on eBay now, there's a bunch of uh, felonious stuff. There's a
Yeah,
paper edition, and there's a black PS5 and stuff like that. And I'm like,
yeah,
who's gonna fall for that? And the answer is people must,
A
otherwise they
lot of
wouldn't
people.
keep. Yeah,
yeah. But the thing is, like, I don't understand because like it's so hard to like as a seller not get ripped off. on a thing. There's like all these scams against sellers where like people take a thing and then they complain about it, and PayPal always sides with the seller. Sides with the buyer. So it's like I don't understand how they get away with this stuff. And secondly, like you can't list something that you're not going to be able to deliver in less than a month, or you're not going to be able to deliver in like there's some kind of rule that like you have to be able to ship something out if you're selling it within a certain amount of time.
Yeah, think you can. I think you can fudge that. I think there's ways to set the amount of processing time so that you can push that out to like a couple months at the most.
And the other thing that's going to drive me nuts is Nintendo's releasing an updated Game and Watch. Did you see this thing?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
that plays
did.
Super Mario Brothers.
So they have it's in the original like casing for the ball Game and Watch, the original Game and Watch. I actually have the replica that they did a few years ago when Nintendo had a cool club. So Nintendo had this like club where you would like earn points and everything from buying games, and you could redeem those points for cool prizes. And they used to have really awesome stuff. And one thing was this like replica of the original LCD ball game. So like I have that. That's awesome. I love like the old little handheld LCD games like that. So this one is like a Game Boy Micro basically. It only plays Super Mario Brothers and like it's like Super Mario Brothers and like something else in there I think. Which is like I don't need it for the game, but it's just like the cool form factor. And it also has like the watch part of it. Like it has like Mario theme, watch faces on it for the whole Game and Watch piece. It's just a cool little collector's item. And of course, they announced that it's like super limited while supplies last. Only like it's just like you guys, come on, just make some so people can buy some and just be happy with it. Like, why does everything got to be like a pain in the ass?
I mean, that 3D All Stars edition is a limited time release, not just physically, but digitally. It's
Yeah, what is
limited.
that? Why?
Like Nintendo,
Like,
Because you're paying
it's
what?
still
How much does that cost? That collection
60.
cost. So you're paying
50.
six. Okay, so
Oh
you're
wait,
paying.
what are you talking about? Are you talking about the 3D All Stars game or the
Yeah.
limited
Yes, 3D
Game and
All
Watch?
Stars, 3D All Stars
Oh,
game.
okay, yeah, that was a 60.
So you're paying $60 for something that they could charge you $60 a piece for separately. Maybe not 60, but
But they're not like remakes. They're just flat out ports.
For
yeah,
the most part. I mean, they definitely look cleaner than they should because, like, they did,
Yeah.
more than that, you know. But like, they're not really touched anyway. Like, Super Mario Sunshine, like, when it says hit the X button, it's showing a little beam, which really was throwing me off. Because I had to
Banner
keep
said
looking down. I'm like, wait a minute.
Banner says bot programs should be 100% illegal. Um, I don't think they should be illegal, but they should like
No, he's right. They should be illegal. Don't side with them at all.
no, retailers should have bot protection built into their site. You should have to be signed in, and you should have to fill out a you know captcha of some kind before you check out. I actually agree with that.
Yeah, that'd be fine if they put protections in place for that, but they're
Right,
clearly
but
not going
there's
to do
not.
it.
Yeah, I know. So that's the issue. And he Banner says Xbox pre-orders, I believe, goes live 8 a.m. September 22nd. Yeah, and we'll see if those street dates are broken. It'd be funny if they
That's
did, because
it's 8 a.m.
Microsoft,
Pacific too, by the
yeah,
way.
8 a.m. Pacific. Microsoft really did kind of get a nice little jab in at Sony because during the whole pre-order fiasco, they're like, our pre-orders are going to be at 8 a.m. on September 22nd for those of you having difficulty finding a next-gen console, because we know when our pre-orders go up. And I'm like, oh,
Which
yeah.
is going to smash sites, and people are gonna and they're gonna sell out in 5 minutes, and it's gonna be the same thing all over
It's going to be
again.
the
But
same thing.
they're gonna manage the message better.
Yeah, 100%.
No, I'm really,
Uh,
I'm really curious about the whole Xbox thing with that lower price SKU. Like, I'm wondering how well that's actually going to do, and what kind of compatibility issues are actually going to be had with them.
Well, the thing about it for I need to put my thing on. The thing about it for me that's really annoying about it is there's really a complete lack of understanding that it's half the machine that you would be buying for the other one. It's 1440 max and a smaller SSD. And considering that Microsoft only sells proprietary hard drives for expansion,
Oh, that is
yeah,
horrible.
people are just not thinking about this clearly. So by the time you do that and you get Game Pass, you're talking about the same price as if you had bought the friggin' thing in the first place for 500. So it makes
Except
no
don't think
sense.
of hooking it up to a 4K TV.
Right, right. Well, I mean, it probably will upres to from
Yeah, it
1440
outputs
to
at 4K. Yeah,
yeah,
but
but
it's a
it's a
1440
1440.
upres.
Yeah, which sucks because you want the 4K actual signal.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons I thought that what Sony did was perfect in pricing the digital edition at $399. You're not paying for half a machine, and it's
Yeah.
$100 more than the Xbox Series X.
They're
So
losing on that gambit, I guarantee you, because I know I believe in my heart of hearts they wanted to make that thing $50 less, and they only upped it to $100 less to try to sway the S price,
yeah,
even though you're getting way more, at least in theory, than you are with a S. I
and
think the S is going to be popular in dorm rooms and San Francisco downtown apartments. Um, but
I'm laughing at you. Sorry, because you're not wrong
yeah,
about
no,
that.
I mean, I think that's their market, right? Is a lot of dorm rooms don't have TVs; they've just got PC monitors, right? So 1440 PC monitor, you're right there, right? So
See, that's what I'm almost wondering though, because they're so different in price. I'm wondering if people are only going to like. I'm talking like mass market, like not the people who are chasing the numbers. Are most people going to be want to going for that one, and like you're going to find the other one sitting on shelves, because people are just like, oh no, I can go one of these for 300. I'm not paying 500 right if that's going to happen because it's so drastically different.
Well, but that's the thing for me, right? Is it's like you're basically buying the exact same console you could buy now. If you bought an Xbox One X,
Yeah,
it's pretty much the same thing except it doesn't have the SSD. That's really the
yeah.
only difference. And so it's like if anyone knows anything about it, I don't know how they could look at the S and go, "Oh, that's the one for me." You know,
But that's the thing. They don't. Like most people like don't
don't what?
don't know
what they're
about.
buying.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not like and especially when you're buying like like it's not like I'm not talking about like PC gamers buying that. They play on a PC. They know what they have under the hood. Console buyers, you want to buy it for the ease of use. You plug it into the TV, you throw a game in, and it plays. Or in this case, you download the game and it plays. So, are they really going to understand that it's like, not specifically made for their 4K TV? Are they looking at that kind of stuff? I don't think so. Most normal people don't care.
Because it still says 4K on the front of the box.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that's shady.
yeah, I know. I think if they
That's shady. You think that's shady? That's shady,
no,
right?
I think it's shady. As long as it's 4K with an asterisk, I guess is okay. Where it says upres
Yeah,
from
there's probably a note.
1440. Yeah. But I mean, I think that if you are a console owner now and you're thinking about upgrading to the next generation, then you are going to look at those numbers. You're not just going to blindly do it. Now, do I think you're right for
I,
like moms and stuff that might be buying for kids who have no idea about the consoles? Yes, I wholeheartedly agree with that. But if you own a console now, if you own an Xbox One X, or yes, no,
You're right. Yeah,
yeah,
Xbox X, you're
okay,
right.
Xbox One X. God, I hate their naming structure so much.
Xbox One X, turn on. Xbox One X, turn on.
oh God.
I missed Turo just for that. If you have an Xbox One X, then I think you're already gonna know the difference because you had to do that work to figure out if you were buying the Xbox One X or the Xbox One S. So I think that I think there's a better starting point, is what I'm saying, for people who own an Xbox console currently, compared to someone who might be coming in cold into the ecosystem.
But I'm
Someone
still
who
not
might be
sure.
jumping ship too. I mean, someone who's got a PS4 or PS4 Pro now, and they're peeved about the whole PS5 launch pre-order, and they're like, "I'm screwed. I'm going to go to Microsoft." You know, are they paying attention? Do they know? I don't know, right? I think there's a mix. I do think that a lot of people that are out there buying systems know a lot less than we give them credit for. Um,
Because that's what I always
we
tell people. Like we're in a bubble. Like we geek out on this stuff way more than your average person. Like we follow this stuff. We've been doing this stuff since like the dawn of
1973.
it.
But
Yeah.
but at the same time, I don't think it's fair to give people so little credit, because it's not like it's a throwaway purchase. 300 to 500
No,
bucks is a serious amount, so I would think that they do some kind of research on
and it's not that I'm not saying that there's no credit. I'm not saying that people are dumb. I'm just saying there's no reason to. The console market is supposed to be. You're not supposed to have to think about that stuff. Because it's made to be easier. It's plug and play. It's not PC gaming where it's like more complicated and you have to like you know tweak your stuff and you're getting special video cards and everything like that. If you're
it.
really into it.
Speaking of, while you remind me of the other thing that sneaker bots corrupted this
The
week, was the
3080.
the TI 3080, all gone within less than two
Oh
minutes
yeah, I heard that.
because of
Yeah,
sneaker
2 minutes.
bots.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
they totally
retooled to do
botted
that.
it.
Yep, and
It's
people
insane.
were so upset. But to be fair,
To be fair,
Nvidia did say that they actually had bot protection in place, and so that while bots did attack the site, all actual sales went to real humans. So
Oh
I
wow.
mean, that's kind of cool, at least.
that's
Um,
cool. How much did
yeah.
that thing run?
800, I think, for the top of the line, and I want to say there was a special for 695 for the low end. But to be fair,
To be fair,
it did have 10 gigs of DDR6 RAM on it. So
10 gigs on board.
10 gigs on board.
My
Got to trace them rays, boy. Got to
Yeah,
trace them
gotta trace them
rays.
rays. That's all about tracing them rays. So yeah, that's kind of crazy.
That's got to have at least 256 VGA.
The pins are my favorite.
Mm,
Oh my god, that is huge. Like what? That thing has to like
$8 million.
that thing has to, I mean, God, the horsepower we have available to us today is insane.
You're just gonna need a power supply just for your video card. You're gonna have to have two power supplies, one for your video card and one for everything else.
I know
Yeah, I
it's
mean
got
when
it's got. Go ahead.
when your video cards have like dual heat sinks on it, that's when you know you're.
Well, that's
So
that's exactly what I was gonna say. It shows dual heat sinks on it, dual fans,
The
and
fans, yeah.
I believe it's actually liquid cooled as well.
Jesus.
I could
mean,
be
it
wrong
has
about
to
that.
be.
I could be, but I do remember when I was looking at it, it was specifically touting some kind of special cooling system, and I'm like, I'll have to look at that more later. But yeah,
You just go get the garden hose out of the yard and just screw it into the back of your computer. Here we
That's
go, liquid cooled.
oh man. But yes, I'm sorry. I did interrupt because I wanted to make sure that I talked about that. But you were talking about specifically people who don't build PCs because they don't know what's under the horsepower, or what kind of horsepower they have under
yeah.
the
You're not. I
hood.
mean, that's not the idea of a console. You don't have to do that. You're not supposed to. The idea is you get a PlayStation, you plug it in, you play. You get an Xbox, you plug it in, you play. That's the beauty behind the stuff.
Well, so my
So
countering question to you is: do you believe that So when you look at Sony, you have parity in the consoles, right? It's the
mhm.
exact same console. The only thing that's missing is a disk drive. So there's no chance for a consumer to be misled there. Do you
Right.
believe that because of the way they've done structured the Xbox One S, no, the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X, I'm gonna get this right eventually. I swear to God, I'm a professional. Um,
You
do
have to,
you?
because I there's no way I am.
Yeah. Do you believe that that is actually what's the word I'm looking for? Shady is not the
Trixie.
right. Yeah. Do you believe that that is inherently misleading the consumer on purpose?
Well, see, that's why I don't know. I don't know what it's going to like. Is it if if this comes out and they find games perform differently on the systems in any kind of noticeable way, then yeah, you know,
Well, like for example, the backwards compatibility, you're not going to get the Series X version of the backwards compatible games. You're going to get the Xbox One S backwards compatible versions of the games.
wow. God,
I
that sounds really complicated.
I had not. Yeah, I had not heard that, and that sounds
Yeah,
ridiculous.
there's a whole thing that's popped up about that. I'm
Well,
looking at the box. I'm trying to find images of the boxes right now so I can see if there's clear messaging. Obviously, the boxes are radically different, but if there's any clear messaging on the outside of the boxes that would lead someone to be able to make an intelligent decision.
Because this has
but
really
to
never been done before. Like, I mean, you have like the PlayStation Pro, kind of stuff, but that's not really like, you know, games didn't fundamentally run all that different, on them. There's not anything that only runs on a Pro that just can't run on a regular PS4, right?
right. Well,
Correct.
that's because Sony thought ahead and said you mandated you must be able to do this on both versions of the machine if you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to be fair,
To be
Sony
fair,
Sony has its own debacle about this whole upgrade strategy for games in that if you buy a disc-based PS4 game, then you can only upgrade to a disc-based PS5 game, and if you buy a digital PS4 game, then you can upgrade to either a digital or disc-based PS5 game or system. You can play that game on either system. It's
uh,
so yeah,
what?
they have their own. What is that? What you asked?
Yeah, I was like, what?
So if you
So
buy
you buy the disc version.
you buy the disc version, you can only play the PS5 upgrade on the disc-based version of the machine.
Huh.
So if you buy a digital only version of the machine, you're SOL. If
Huh.
you if you bought the disc-based game version for the PS4, you can only upgrade to a version that plays, and we don't know whether it's a an actual disc based upgrade game, or if it's only a digital game. All of this is like completely unknown right now. That's the great part. I'm sitting here going, why would I not buy a PS4 game at this point just to get the free upgrade so that I've got both the PS4 and PS5 versions?
Yeah, it seems.
My guess is if you buy the downloadable version of either, you'll have access to the either. They haven't said that yet, but
No, they
that's
did.
my guess as
They
well.
they said if you buy the digital version of a game on
For the
PS4,
four,
then you can
right. But
play
I'm
it
saying
on
if you buy the
either.
PS, but if you buy the PS5 download store version, I'm guessing you'll have access to the PS4 version, like how they did with if you had the PS4 and Vita version and you got both, right?
You think?
I'm
I used to
I'm
love.
guessing that's the way it'll work. But go
God, I
ahead.
used to love that. That used to be my favorite thing in the world.
Cross by
I
Oh,
don't.
smart
I
delivery
miss.
before it was a
I
thing.
don't. I don't think they're going to do that.
Don't think
I
so?
I honestly don't. I think they're going to be kind of stingy on this. I think they're going to.
I miss the Vita.
Me
Okay, so
too.
the boxes are interesting. So on the outside, the only thing you can really tell is that the hard drive sides are the sizes are different. They have this weird triangle symbol on them that I have no idea what it is, but they both have it. The S has a disc-based shape with a line through it, which I guess is to mean that it doesn't take optical discs. But now here's the tricksy part. The Series S box says 120 FPS on it. The Series X box says 4K 120 FPS, but the S does not state specifically a resolution. It just says 120 FPS.
Huh.
Now that's just the front of the boxes. We don't know what the back of the box looks like yet, apparently. So
What's in
that's
the
just looking at the
box?
front of the box, but yeah. So
All right. Well, I think this has been productive conversation. I think it's been a very.
Shockingly.
What's that?
Shockingly.
Shockingly, yes.
moral of the story is consumer beware, know what you're buying, and good luck in getting a pre-order on anything. And don't let that discourage you and pay thousands of dollars for some scalper. Just wait till it comes in stock.
And FYI, since Banner's on the cast, and I can tell him because I meant to tell him earlier by phone, but we've been playing phone tag all day. Walmart, no, I'm sorry, Best Buy and Sam's Club have updated their stock to being refilled soon for the PS5. So make sure you watch the sites that list all the retailers because you're only going to have about 2 minutes to get in there and get your pre-order. So yeah. So that's going to bring us to final thoughts. Dave, final thoughts.
I also got a cool thing from Limited Run Games. You know that company?
No.
Yeah, limited run. Yeah, they do.
Oh,
the,
yeah,
the
yeah.
little print. Yeah.
Yeah. I got it for the Switch, and I've been playing it on there.
Wait, you broke up. What'd you get?
Streets of Rage 4.
Oh, okay.
So Streets of Rage, 2 was one of my favorite games of all time. Streets of Rage 4 is a love letter to the old style Lucky games. It's really well done. For that game, I bought it on the Switch, on the Switch, but I also was just like, oh, I'll get it for the PS4. The thing shop, and the company is so cool, I love them. It's in a giant Genesis box. So you open it up, and it's like an old school Genesis box, a little bit bigger because it's fitting a disc in the PS4 case inside. But you open it up, and it's got this like real nice features in there and everything. It's just so cool, but it's just like the way they package stuff. It's just fun. Every once in a while, like if there's something cool, I get something off there. And then they also had a Bluetooth version of the old Sega 6-button pad for the Genesis that worked on like the Switch, the PlayStation, and stuff like that. So it's like it's like a perfect rendition of the old Sega controller, and it's in clear blue. So, gotta love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's all coming up, Dave.
Yeah, that was like, hey, this product is for Dave, and it was something that was actually in stock. So I really appreciate them.
Matt, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Final thought is you made a request a couple weeks ago based on something that was said, and I have the fulfillment of that request, and that's why I turned my background off here. And I got to keep talking. I can't see. You have to let me know if it's coming through or not because I can't see.
It is. Well,
coming through perfect.
Yeah. Keep talking, though.
Okay, keeping talking. It's a hybrid anime style mixed with the 90s animated Bishop. So it's on nice, sketch paper. So we'll figure out how to get that to you at some point.
That's awesome, dude.
Look at that neckerchief.
And then there's his oh gosh, I can't. Nope, that way. So that's won't focus. Focus. Anyway, that's his mark. So that's his so if you ever in the future need to know whether or not it's an actual original or not, you'll be able to identify it from.
That's awesome. Tell him great job. That looks amazing.
Will do. And he's in a sketching class this semester too. So that's he's refining his art.
Nice.
I have a buddy that does that. He picked up art, like kind of like he always would like draw and stuff, but he started really going heavy into like the digital drawing and stuff, and it's gotten so much better. And he's always doing comic book stuff. and like doing stuff, and he runs stuff past me all the time, like early on, because he's also colorblind. So he needs to like figure out like if it look things look right and stuff. So it's like always pretty fun. But he did one recently that's Captain Britain, Megan, and her daughter
Hmm.
at like the beach, and like the daughter's like like all pissed off because she's like being ignored and stuff like that, everything. And it's just like he always runs into like a new issue with stuff, and he's just like he sent me a random email. It's like, oh, growing toddlers are just they're just awkward. He goes, and I don't want to like search online for like toddler pictures. That makes him
Why not?
like
I don't
trying to
get it.
get references. Like it's so it's just funny, like the weird issues, like somebody getting into like art and like trying to like figure stuff out, runs into.
The
Um,
thing that killed me about that picture was the markers he got that he colored, that he shaded and colored that with. They're like dead on. They're like dead on the X-Men blue and yellow. I was like, okay, apparently they just went to the old Crayola box and just pulled the markers out and just used those colors because it's dead on.
they probably did. I mean, if they're using standard stuff.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, my final thought for this week is if you've never studied music theory, I'm getting a little further into it, and I was learning about supertones this week, and Andrew Huang just put up a great video about how almost all pop music right now is relying on one specific supertone, which supertones are basically like you've got chords. It's the second one in a chord, and in this case, it's C major. That everyone's using this one note basically as the basis for most pop music today because you can do that one note over and over again, and it's satisfying when you go to either one note down or one note up. And so everybody's using that as the foundation of most pop music today. And it was crazy because he can actually play piano. I cannot. But he actually kind of broke down all these pop songs by playing it with the pop song so that you could hear it and see what he was talking about. And it's kind of fascinating. It's actually kind of changed my thought about making music for myself, in that if I know that there's a supertone, that most of these supertones I could actually just pick one and then go one key up or down to end a phrase that I'm working on in the song. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm kind of coming into music theory
Well,
cold, but
I
yeah,
mean, but we've all seen that video of, every pop song is in the same three chords, right? I mean, you've seen that
right,
video where the
right.
guy plays the same song over and over and over again and sings the different lyrics to the same three chord progression. I mean, it's the same principle.
Right. I just thought it was a super cool video, and
Yeah, no,
super
that sounds sweet.
super super music nerdy. So I like super music nerdy.
I
Um,
saw a crazy one where a vocalist was hitting two notes at the same time. Did you ever see
Oh,
that?
that's
oh
weird. That's
no.
just disturbing.
So
I It
the
was so
voice,
weird.
the Voice Australia has a Mongolian singer on, and he's doing this super traditional one. It's amazing. So I can't recommend it enough. You just search for Voice Australia uh, Mongolian blind audition, and it is like legit. It is like sends chills up your spine how good this song is. And he's playing a um, it looks like a two stringed fiddle of some kind, or two string cello. Actually, is what it more looks like. It's bigger. It's not as big as a cello, but it's much bigger than a violin, and it's actually horsehair. It's actually all made from horse mane for the strings. It's crazy. It's really really good. I can't recommend it enough. I spend a lot of time on the Voice Global stuff, and that was one that I came across this last week, and it was absolutely bone chilling. So I can't recommend that enough. But that's going to bring us then to the end of the show, and where we leave you with a sage piece of wisdom to carry you on until the next time we meet. Uh, Dave,
No, don't. That makes it worse.
Dave,
Yes.
what's the best, what's the best thing about Switzerland?
Oh God, there's a lot. I mean, everybody's pretty chill. There's a lot of, people are,
Chocolate,
yeah,
cuckoo clocks.
chocolate's good. Yeah, all kinds of. And mostly they're beautiful people too. Just uncharacteristically, physically beautiful. It's weird.
But Dave, what's the best thing about Switzerland?
They stay out of everybody's business. They remain pretty neutral. Watches.
Just say the magic words, Dave. Let it be over.
They make a lot of watches. What is it?
Well, I'm not actually sure, but its flag is a big plus.
That actually caused a little pain right here. I don't feel so good.
Until next time, thanks for watching and game on.
Game on.
And